As if the AFC North wasn't wild enough, this week we get to see Johnny Manziel make his debut as a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in a must-win AFC North division game against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Browns, who made the switch to Manziel from struggling veteran starter Brian Hoyer this week, certainly hope that Manziel can give this Browns offense a spark, and that his dynamic style will be enough to fix what's going wrong with the Browns offense in recent weeks. I'm curious to see how quickly the Browns are able to adapt their offense to Johnny Manziel's unique style, and I also want to see if Johnny Manziel is going to have better chemistry with #1 receiver Josh Gordon than Brian Hoyer did. The San Diego Chargers find themselves in the unenviable position of having to play Tom Brady and Peyton Manning on consecutive weeks. Well, the Chargers already failed their test against Brady and the Patriots, and now they find themselves in a must-win situation against Manning and the Broncos, who could clinch the AFC West with a win here in San Diego on Sunday. These Broncos look like a run-first team, so perhaps the Chargers are going to find themselves focusing on stopping second-year running back C.J. Anderson instead of Peyton Manning. It was only 2 weeks ago that the Seattle Seahawks dominated the 49ers on Thanksgiving night, and now the two NFC West rivals are playing again this Sunday in Seattle, with the Seattle Seahawks gunning for the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs, and the Niners just desperate to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. San Francisco's offense has just really been struggling, and Colin Kaepernick has regressed, and he has seemed to always play his worst against the Seattle Seahawks. And right now, Seattle's defense has rediscovered its mojo, and this has the makings for another long afternoon for Colin Kaepernick and company. J.J. Watt's bid to become the first defensive player to win the NFL MVP award since Lawrence Taylor could take a major step forward if he has a monster game on Sunday against Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. Until now, one of the biggest factors working against Watt as he tries to chase down Aaron Rodgers to win the MVP award is the fact that the Texans have not been a playoff contender. And it's really hard to imagine the league's MVP coming from a team who doesn't make the postseason. But right now, with the Texans at 7 wins and kind of in a jumble in that wild card hunt, they could make a major statement if they move to 8 wins by knocking off the favorited Colts. With the Dallas Cowboys win against the Chicago Bears last week, the Cowboys got to 9 wins, ensuring themselves that they're going to finish better than that dreaded 8-8 record this season. But really, is that going to matter at all if the Cowboys wind up missing the playoffs this year? Well, we're going to learn a lot about the Cowboys' playoff chances on Sunday when they travel to Philadelphia to play the Eagles, just 2 weeks after they got blown out by the Eagles on Thanksgiving night. So what makes the Cowboys optimistic that this week is going to be any different? Well, they're going to have to get back to what works, and that's DeMarco Murray in the running game. The Eagles, meanwhile, are going to need a bounce-back game from Mark Sanchez, who really struggled last week in a loss to the Seattle Seahawks.